going southbound. Chevrolet southbound 836 and 836, I gave this one open. Negative, I know you took our last one, and we still hold right next to it. You can see it's 826, going on west, 836. So 826 southbound, going west on 836. Aviation.
1213 or so, 1214 in Greenville in Hunt County. And if he gets through Greenville, then traffic is going to drop dramatically, and he'll keep rolling east, most likely.
And here we see the BigRig coming up to what appeared to be another intersection. Another factor, of course, taking a turn with when you're missing at least 5 tires down to rims. That becomes an especially tricky maneuver if you're behind the wheel of a stolen BigRig truck. But he was able to execute, well, what looks like a U-turn there, and this pursuit continues. Again, right now, very much a rural area, but they've been approaching or passing through the more populated area of Greenville, but still at this point, open fields. But we are seeing a little bit more now civilian traffic on that section of, if it is still I-30. Yeah. The truck itself on an I-30 service road, and you can see a few more vehicles heading along I-30. One thing DPS has been able to do is greatly reduce the amount of traffic heading eastbound on both this access road and this stretch of I-30. But that BigRig truck and the driver behind the wheel of this stolen 18-wheeler still determined to push on in spite of seeing now what looks like an increasing law enforcement presence. Now, okay, you can see from Sky 4, the service road has ended. The driver has run out of road. The vehicle has come to a stop. Those DPS personnel now in position with, you can see, guns drawn. Not sure if they're now trying to communicate directly with the BigRig driver, but they are in position behind the 18-wheeler. Maybe Sky 4 can pull out just a bit, and we can see how many vehicles DPS has in position. We're counting 6, 7, 8, at least 8 DPS personnel.
The suspected child molester has no regard for the officers or other vehicles on the road.
He pulled into the right lane to attempt to pass a slower-moving vehicle. The slower-moving vehicle pulled over, and there was a collision between this other vehicle and the semi.
No one is injured. The officers attribute that to luck. They know the situation can only get worse. Fortunately, state troopers are waiting for the reckless driver up the road.
The state patrol officer put spike strips out.
Road spikes are outside. 314.
The suspect swerves around the stop sticks as if he knew they were there. The trucker seems to be one step ahead, and the police find out why.
As we continued along, we had received intel from other truckers that he had a monitor in his cab picking up some of the police signals. We couldn't go to a coded channel because the other agencies wouldn't be able to hear us.
The officers think quickly and turn the line of communication to their advantage. They try to reason with the fugitive driver.
You know, we're not going to go away. You might as well just stop.
The trucker ignores Detective Bauer's pleas. Now, Deputy Benke enters the chase.
I noticed the chase coming southbound on 13. I got ahead of it.
Deputy Benke races ahead to set up his own stop sticks. He pulls to the side of the road, putting himself in a potentially deadly situation.
Now coming to location.
When he swerved, basically destroyed my squad.
The deputy is not hurt, but the trucker's actions have raised the stakes. He's used his truck as a deadly weapon.
At that point, since he had intentionally rammed the squad car, Marathon County authorized use of deadly force to stop the vehicle.
The suspect goes into a second county, drawing even more agencies and policemen into the deadly chase.
My concerns weren't for me, it was for any officers responding, not understanding the sheer mass and power of the vehicle.
Detective Bowers gives the trucker one final warning.
You need to pull over and stop now before you get shot. Bad things are about to happen if you don't stop.
As we went through one of the cities farther south on State Highway 13, there was an officer that was off the side of the road. They fired one round into the cab of the semi.
The first shot was 12-gauge double-aught buck. All 9 rounds went right through the headrest of the driver's seat.
But the suspect ducks, avoiding the shots. It looks like the chase will continue until the determined officers force this hostile trucker off the road.
The semi then hit additional spike strips, which resulted in the tires shredding, knocking large chunks of fiberglass off the tractor.
The large chunks of fiberglass put the officers' lives in even greater danger.
I'm on the left side of the tractor, attempting to alert oncoming traffic.
He's swung at an officer.
The road is running out for the suspect, and the officers know this could be their best chance to bring the chase to an end.
There was a large area of construction that narrowed down to a choke point where we knew if we got spike sticks across the entire roadway, we couldn't swerve around them.
Road is under construction and is completely barricaded off.
Marshfield officers completely spiked the roadway. As Collins drove through there, several more tires blew out.
His tires completely gone, the semi slows down, but will not stop until it runs out of gas or the officers make it stop.
I could see the Marshfield officer on the side of the road firing at the truck. Fired rounds into the radiator.
And ended up taking out the cooling system.
The truck finally comes to a crawling stop, and the suspect jumps out the passenger side. The officers approach, so the suspect has decided it's time to give up.
He laid on the grass and surrendered.
And the public by stealing a lumber truck and circling about the community.
He's been staying in the same general area, and he's been seen waving to people on the sidewalk.
Incredibly, many pedestrians are not only enjoying the show, they're actually encouraging the performance.
Now, there's people in the media, and I think one of them just gave him a high five. Unbelievable. This semi continues up the wrong side of the road here. Cars are stopped, but I'm not sure that there's enough room for this guy to get through. There's a traffic jam ahead. One car is trying to back up as the truck heads across the median now.
A cruiser rushes forward with guns aimed at the semi's rear tires. The bullets find their mark. But an unbelievable complication is about to turn this chase into a terrifying display.
It looks like there's smoke coming from the back of the truck.
Sparks from the grinding rims have flown up to the truck's payload, igniting the cords of lumber.
Big plume of smoke now.
Within seconds, the semi turns into a rolling inferno.
And now there's flames. The truck is on fire. This is absolutely unbelievable.
Flames race up the stacks of 2x4s. 6,000 pounds of kindling on the move. The insane heat builds to an explosive level. A burning tire blows loose and rockets down the street like an unguided missile.
Oh, look at that. It's rolling free. It's completely engulfed in flames heading through that parking lot.
The suspect continues his manic parade, as if this is all just part of an act.
This is so dangerous for everybody out on the road right now.
He doesn't realize that his lethal actions are about to reap a lethal response.
You can see a police van pulling up from behind as more pieces fly off that truck.
A white van rushes in behind the fiery fugitive. Inside is a tactical team with orders to use deadly force. As the driver tries to steer his rig across the median, the truck's exposed rims get stuck on the curb. Officers know this may be their only chance.
The van's opening up. Officers are jumping out. They're rushing towards the semi. And that one officer has his gun drawn. I think he's firing.
As bullets tear through the cab, the driver stomps on the gas, panicked and confused.
He's pulling away. They don't know if he was hit or not.
He thought this was all fun and games, but it's become life and death.
Hard over the median there, and he jostles that payload.
Desperate to shake the cadre of police on his tail, he suddenly gets a terrifying idea.
Oh, the lumber spills all over the roadway.
He jerks the semi back and forth, shaking loose the truck's cargo as a blockade. His desperate act bought him some time, enough time to buy himself a lot more trouble.
There's a school bus ahead, and he charges past it, lumber falling off.
The dangling lumber strikes the back of a school bus. Inside, a jostled child is injured by the impact. No matter what it takes, police have to end this chase now before another innocent gets caught in this guy's sights.
Oh, no! Right on the tail of that sedan, he barely slows down in time.
They charge forward for another shot at him, but the driver veers wildly, cutting them off. Police make the call for sharpshooters and helicopters to take action.
There are several police airships closing in nearby. He slowed way down here. Officers are holding their position, and it looks like he's coming to a complete stop now.
Police aren't sure what to make of his sudden change of heart, but the suspect has a good reason for stopping. It turns out that the tactical assault had worked. With incredible marksmanship at a full sprint, the officer hit the driver before he could pull away.
Police rush in, he's on the ground, and it looks like they've got him. He's not resisting, suspect being taken into custody.
Whatever ideas this out-of-work trucker had about show business,
One of them just gave him a high five.
his career rapidly went up in smoke.
It's rolling free, completely engulfed in flames.
And instead of improving his resume,
His lumber spills all over the roadway.
he only built up
Surface Street. And it sounds like San Bernardino Police, City Police, they'll be taking over the chase now from CHP officers who were originally handling the chase on Interstate 10 when it began right around 340. But now that they're on surface streets and they've remained on surface streets, City Police here in San Bernardino, they are preparing to take the handoff from CHP officers, and they'll be taking this over shortly. And just a reminder, we like to remind you whenever there's one of these pursuits in town, even though this is a slow-speed pursuit, if it does come through your area, maybe somewhere where you work nearby, the worst thing you can do is go outside and try to get involved or take a look. Officers on the ground need a wide berth to bring this to a very peaceful conclusion, and getting in their way is only going to make their mission much more complicated. So if you are in the area, in San Bernardino, in the city of San Bernardino, please stay indoors. Keep the doors and windows locked. Sometimes these things come to an end. People get out and make a run for it, and you don't want to get involved in any of that. So at this point, CHP officers on top of the guy, and they will be turning the chase over to the city of San Bernardino, to local police here in the next several minutes.
All right, Bill, you were watching ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 4 p.m. It is now right about 4:30 as we are continuing to watch this pursuit of a big rig. There you see it. It's a very slow-speed pursuit that started in Fontana, is now in San Bernardino. San Bernardino police have now just taken over the pursuit. We're trying to get some information, but it's reported as a grand theft auto. Somebody stole this truck, apparently, and CHP tried to pull it over, and it refused to yield. As a result, this pursuit has been going on for the better part of a half hour.
Yeah, the driver has that window rolled down. I can see inside just a little bit more, but can't see much beside the big rig driver. Looks like he has his hand up to his head, perhaps on a cell phone, talking to somebody. Difficult to tell, but you look at the rear windows, the top window as well, everything is tinted, so it's almost impossible to see what else is happening inside the cockpit of that big rig. Are there other passengers? Are there people being held against their will? It's really unclear, and that's why CHP officers are doing all they can to give this guy a wide berth, and hopefully this comes to an end shortly.
Yeah, Bill, can you tell? I mean, it looks like he's just kind of sitting with his chin in his hand. I guess he's not talking on his cell phone, so I'm just kind of curious if you could tell much more from where you are. You probably can't. We're looking pretty closely at this. I don't see any other activity in there.
Nails. I mean, he could be completely in state of stress. You know, who knows what he's thinking right now? But
what a predicament, though. And Bill's right. That's a good look at the cabin, and you see there's a large amount of space behind the driver. This is where drivers often actually live and sleep. So there's a considerable amount of room, and so you have to pursue this with a great deal of caution if you're law enforcement, because, as Bill said, you don't know who's in the cabin with him, if there are a number of other people, or if he's just by himself.
Yeah, we still don't know how he got a hold of this big rig.
Right. I'm sure police have a lot more details that they're letting us know. They probably know if this big rig is loaded with material, and they know the circumstances of how it was stolen. More than likely, we're probably not to get that information until once this is
if I have time, I want to switch my radios, Jay.
Hey, Bill, this week we saw a dump truck in pursuit, and now we're watching this big rig slowly make its way down the streets. I was looking up some information about big rigs, and they're about 40 tons compared, or 80,000 pounds, compared to like a 5,000-pound car. 80 feet long.
And you could see the way he maneuvered by these corners. Just driving these enormous vehicles can be exceptionally dangerous. It does appear that he does know how to handle a big rig. He took a tight corner there. We don't know the state of mind. We don't know how many people are in the cab of this truck. We've been simply watching this just as you have and trying to figure out what tactics police and law enforcement can use on this big rig. By the way, let me correct myself. This started at 3:14, so it's been going on for about an hour and 15 minutes now.
Yeah, and you can imagine, they can't really use the spike strip 18 wheels, and they're just sort of following him very slowly. He's stayed away from freeways, thank goodness.
And you wonder about the gasoline then, if this is one of those things that's going to continue to move and keep going, and then you wonder about his fuel and how what the situation is when it comes to that. And then, go ahead.
Oh, we're just hearing that apparently earlier on he dropped off a female and a dog. So we know that. So maybe he is alone in that cab.
Okay, so we have a little bit more information when it comes to that. This was apparently reported as a stolen vehicle. We have a stop here. Let's go to Bill Thomas.
Yeah, they have come to a stop once again on Arrowhead. This is Arrowhead in the city of San Bernardino. Those are, I believe, CHP officers and perhaps city police moving in as well. Now, the doors of the big rig are open. I can see the driver. We're going to try to work around.
Westbound, 3100 south.
Copy westbound, 3100 south from Hazard.
He's probably going to go back that way.
2820 south.
Westbound, 2820
North. 8900 west. 5 miles an hour.
Copy north, 8900 west, speed of 5.
He's going to go up this way.
North south to me.
10 miles south. Southwest 2932 south, PD.
They got some spikes and stuff. Take them out. There you go. What? Out of the vehicle now! Out of the vehicle now! Hey, I got a good view on him. You got him? Someone let him know they're shooting those people. Hold on. Your hands in the air! Hands up! Hands up! I got gas too. I got whatever you need. You got gas? Throw gas in that. Let's move back. Yep. Copy. Move it back. Let me know when you're up and I'll move up with you. You up? You up? Let's go! Everybody up! Okay, I got a 40 with gas in. Okay, I got that. Get out, walk to me. I got my mom and my daughter. You gotta come something. Pepper ball. Pepper ball. Pepper ball out. Pepper ball. Get out and walk to me. Hey, coming out. Watch your cover. Hands up. Let's go. Let's go. How fast are you going?